Right, good evening. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's time for Bottom Line. And on the bottom line, we say business at the speed of thought. Tonight, there is an impasse between, of course, the Ghana Revenue Authority and the GUTA, the Ghana Union of Traders Association. Well, there is also an involvement of Traders Association of Ghana, which is TAG, and so on and so forth. So we were supposed to have brought you a detailed analysis of whatever was happening. We are still going to do that anyway. But there is a little update. The update is that the Ghana Union of Traders Association has been able to have a very, very, very convincing, according to them, meeting with the Ghana Revenue Authority. What it is about is the fact that they claim that the Ghana Revenue Authority has been harassing them at the ports. That's the first claim. Secondly, they have put some people they call invigilators in their shops. So right from the port, when people pick up their trucks, they have some members of a so-called task force stopping their trucks to force them to pay their VATs upfront. And this is in a bid, according to the Ghana Revenue Authority, to prevent evasion of taxes. The GUTA and the Traders Associations have said this is a Rambo style of disrupting their businesses. And so they will not, or they were not, going to tolerate that anymore. Tonight, we'll be speaking to the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Dr. Joseph Obin. He's a friend to this very show, and we are always happy to have Dr. Joseph Obin. We'll be asking him what exactly transpired at the meeting. If he's magnanimous to us enough, he will open up on it. But we'll go still a bit into details of what's been happening so far with the Ghana Revenue Authority, maybe the Ministry of Finance as well, and the Ghana Union of Traders Association. We as well will have the Traders Association of Ghana join us in the conversation. I think that I will begin the conversation actually with the Traders Association of Ghana, see what their point also is, whether they are in line with GUTA, because they are all traders, they all do importations, and so on and so forth. And then we'll join in the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association. You want to stick and stay with us? It promises to be a very exciting discussion tonight. I'll be right back. Right, so you're welcome back from that break. So I've told you earlier on that tonight we are talking about the traders associations and the impasse between themselves and that of the GRA. Today, there has actually been a press conference by the Traders Association of Ghana. Since I promised to begin with the Traders Association of Ghana, let's have a bit of a look at that press conference. When I'm back, I'll get straight into the discussions. Let's hear what they have been saying.
Traders Advocacy Group Ghana says its members for the past 3 years have been subjected to harassment, intimidation, and extortion under the leadership of the Ghana Revenue Authority Commissioner General, the Commissioner Customs Division, and the Domestic Tax Commissioner.
How can a trader clear or an importer clear his or her container from Tema Port? The commissioner in charge of customs, you have everything at your disposal, meaning that before a container is out of Tema Harbor, it has gone through all hands, making sure that due diligence is done. This is the situation. Commissioner Customs will put some people together, call themselves task force, to chase the importer, and in doing so, impose some fear in that person and start taking money on mobile phones. We do have such mobile numbers here. So whatever that we are talking about is here.
The group said the Commissioner General Customs Division must be investigated for orchestrating the illegality.
The Vice President thought he was bringing this paperless system to take away the human interface from Tema Port. Now it's worse. They are using intimidation and all tactics led by Mr. Sedu, the Commissioner Customs. He cannot remove himself out of this mess. that is going on in the country. He is part and parcel of it. By using the laws of revenue mobilization in the country to intimidate traders.
They also called on the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to immediately act on their petition, as they no longer can tolerate the actions of the commissioners.
We know the kind of people we give our monies to go out there and do their politics. We are always behind the scenes, fueling their day-to-day activities with money. And if your government is chasing traders who have made you president of the land and destroying their businesses, what do you mean? We don't subscribe to such presidency. It's a bogus administration that is happening now.
He says it is a bogus administration. So I'm not sure we want to limit this to the Commissioner of Customs only, because it's an issue of the Ghana Revenue Authority. There is a Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority. There are, I think, 3 major arms of the Ghana Revenue Authority. So you have all of these commissioners in charge. You have that of the Customs and 2 other commissioners. And then you have the Commissioner General. And so if something of this sort is happening, well, of course, the one in charge of Customs will be directly in charge of the ports anyway. But let's get to the president of TAG, who is online with me now. David Kujo AMOATENG, you heard him speak, but let me get him online now. David, good evening. If you can hear me, thank you very much for joining us.
Good evening, my brother.
I hope you're doing very well.
I'm good, and I can see you're also doing well.
I am supposed to be doing very well, but of course, we are for Mother Ghana and, of course, our dear country and people like yourselves. If you are not happy, we cannot be happy. We are supposed to project what you think and make sure government provides a very conducive environment for you to operate so that the economy can thrive and we can make something small. So if you're not happy, we cannot be happy. Are you happy?
In as much as you want to portray that you are not happy, you are looking handsome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm grateful. But let me come straight to you. You think that Mr. Saidu and his administration is a bogus one?
Well, let me say a very good evening to your cherished viewers, and good evening to Traders Advocacy Group. You see, let me start this discussion by saying that Customs and, for that matter, GRA, when it comes to stakeholders engagement, I can boldly say they are second to none. It's been one institution that anything they want to channel out, they do their possible best to engage their stakeholders, so that at the end of the day, we can also drum home the concerns or maybe the new things that they are bringing out to our members, for them to also understand the trends. But the reason why we call this press conference, and we specifically made mention of the Commissioner General, Mr. Commissioner Amishadad, Mr. Amishadad,
right,
General,
right.
Then Mr. Saidu and the Commissioner DTRD. You see, we've been having a good relationship with GRA.
Right.
But in about a year or two, or let's say about, it became intensive in about 6 months' time, 6 months ago, that my brother, you see, during the previous administration, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama did his possible best to expand Tema Port, the Terminal 3.
Yes.
So that it allowed the bigger vessels to also come into our waters. Fast forward into His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's administration. They have done a great job by investing in our ports, bringing in this paperless policy, of which the ICAMS has also done well. So in that sense, if you're a serious importer or a businessman worth your salt, you can even use 48 hours or 72 hours at most to clear your staffs. So, my brother, we find it very intriguing. After someone who has gone through all this, we have more than 19, about 20 charges that we pay at the port. So should one go through all these charges? Should one go through all this, including the national security personnel at the port? And if the person gets out from the port and the task force, of which when that task force was set up, in as much as they has been having a good relationship with us, it was never made mention to us. So all the trade association leadership do not know or have any idea about this task force until the harassment got to the point that we could not take it. The extortion got to the point that we could not take it. The intimidation got to the point that we could not take it. That forced us to come out. See, my brother, if somebody clear his or her container, after paying all these charges going through the helter-skelter at the port, and the person drives to, let's say, Ejoso or Konongo, on the person's way to Kumasi, and you arrest the container, telling the importer that the payment of duty that he has paid is under declaration, then we want to put the blame at the doorsteps of the incompetency of the custom commissioner. Because if CTSB gives you your charge, the duty that you have to pay, after paperless, after the icons, the scanners, all these things that an importer has to go through, just comply with the law, goes through it, then you halfway your journey, this unwarranted people calling themselves task force come across you, intimidate you, harass you, and extort money from you. As a responsible trade association, you cannot sit down.
I agree.
So all the major associations, trade associations in Ghana came out within a week. And that should be telling the general public, and for that matter, GRA something.
That things are not well.
Failing to get it. They are failing to get it. You see, do you think all the trade associations will just come up a matter of 1 week and all of them will be speaking one thing? All the press conferences that you've heard the trade association talk about centered on 3 points: extortion, intimidation, and harassment. And for a custom officer to say that he doesn't understand the reason why goods in Kumasi are a little cheaper than goods in Accra, and for that matter, our people in Kumasi are not paying the rightful duties. I beg of him. I beg of him. I have shops in Kumasi and I have shops in Accra. Things that I sell in Accra, let's say 400 cedis, I sell in Kumasi 380. What are the reasons why the variation in prices? When I take a shop in Accra, I pay 250,000 for a shop. Sorry.
That's fine. So I'm going to ask you that with all the things, whilst you sip your water, with all the things that you have outlined to us, you earlier mentioned when you were speaking that the GRA has been very effective in collaborating, sharing information, consulting with you in its decision making all the time. Has it happened that you have had the opportunity to engage the GRA before coming to the media, because I'm just holding in my hand a statement signed under the hand of Florence Asante, who is the Assistant Commissioner Communications and Public Affairs, on the letterhead of the Ghana Revenue Authority. And I'm seeing them make some explanations or give some reasons as to their actions, the people you call the invigilators, and some of the actions that they have taken, and the amount of revenue they have recouped from for the state by the actions that they are taking. Have you engaged the GRA?
You see, my brother, our beautiful lady is a friend to us.
Mm-hmm.
You see, there is no way, if you look at or listen to all the trade associations, there's no way any trade association will put impediment in the line of duty of GRA. But what we are saying, in as much as they have maybe doubled their revenue, we also have evidence of those extortions that we are talking about.
Yes.
We first petitioned the presidency. A week later, then we came out. It is not that we just wake up one morning and began to make noise. As one of the commissioners said, that we are just making noise. I beg of him, we are not making noise. We know what we are talking about. And if we don't have evidence to that effect, there's no way any responsible trade association will just get up and make noise.
Is there a standoff? Is there a standoff between the associations, and the GRA?
Oh, there is not a standoff. What is it? What we were expecting from them? If somebody make those allegations, what we were expecting that maybe as TAG, Traders Advocacy Group, we have called on the presidency to set up a committee, because we are not going to sit down only with GRA. Any meeting that Traders Advocacy Group will have with GRA, we want a national security minister to be part of that meeting. We want somebody from the presidency, being the president himself, the vice president, or the chief of staff, to be part of that meeting. Then the noise that they think we are making, we will prove to them that we are not making noise. Or let me tell them, you see, we are all trade businessmen and women. So there's no way we will take delight in just making mere noise. We won't do that. And we will never do that. So whatever we put out there, we know the reason why we put those things there, and we have empirical evidence that will go a long way to support our allegations.
So it's for me. I don't know if you have seen the statement from the GRA. I think that even though the statement is okay, it portrays a kind of a standoff or a kind of a fight between the GRA and the associations, the traders. And you're also calling for National Security Minister to be part of your meetings.
Sure. You see, GRA, they are fine brains, fine ladies and gentlemen there who are doing a marvelous job there. But in as much as they are trying to do a good work, there are some people within that service that are also doing things that will dent their image.
And you think Mr. Seidu is one of them?
Come again?
I said, you think Mr. Seidu, the Commissioner of Customs, is one of them?
From those task forces, they report to him. He cannot tell us that he doesn't know there is such a task force. If he then said that, then he's incompetent. How can you pretend on something that you, an institution that you had, and for you to tell us you don't know what is going on? And what even butters the point that we are making, if indeed he doesn't know anything that is going on, or maybe he doesn't have any idea of the task force, by now he should have even doubled his steps to our offices. Yes, we know that those task forces report to him. He is aware of what you are talking about. If he is not aware, then we are telling him what is going on the ground.
He should be
Yes,
aware.
if
I
he is
mean,
not aware.
based on the statement, he should be aware. But I am surprised at GRA's response, because I'm thinking that the response should be directly to the associations and how they are going to resolve the issue, rather than
Exactly.
to explain to us what kind of revenues. For me, that's my personal opinion. I think that GRA should be addressing your concerns.
My brother, you don't know, millions of Ghanaians share the same opinion as you are saying right now. Because we have made allegations, right? We have made allegations, so respond to us. Because our press conference was directed to your institution.
All right. So, David, I'm going to let you go, and I'll find time and read the statement now. And if I have some time, I think I do, I will engage other associations to see what the concern also is. So, David Kojo Amoateng is the leader of Traders Advocacy Group. And he's saying that there are people destroying their businesses. That's the invigilators and those who have the guts to stop their containers on the road, especially to the Ashanti region. They think that there is a purported attempt to struggle or to strain the people that are doing their businesses independently. I have a video for you. I think this one is from the Ghana Union of Traders Association. They also make the same complaint, but in a different direction. I'll play the video for you. When I come back, I'm going to read for you the statement put up by the Ghana Union, the Ghana Revenue Authority. That's on the 22nd of September. I'll read parts of that statement to you, and then we'll get into another discussion before we wrap up. But if you have any concern, we have our numbers on the screen. You can send us a WhatsApp message, or you can tweet at us on our Twitter pages and Facebook page as well. The WhatsApp line is 0241 569 408. You can send us a message. Please do not call. Just send us a message, and I'll be happy to read them. Stay with us.
They don't even trust their own systems of clearance at the port. This happens more to the cargoes going to the Ashanti region. It could be recalled that a few days ago, our Ashanti region branch issued a press conference on this constant harassment and intimidation of traders in the region by GRA officers after their cargoes have passed through the due clearing processes at the port of Tema and released them to them. The GRA cannot assign any cogent reason for the harassment of the traders in the Ashanti region, apart from their usual flimsy explanation that Ashanti region contributes only about 12% to the national revenue. They also claim that they do not understand why goods in Ashanti region are cheaper than those in Greater Accra region, failing to recognize the simple fact that purchasing power and demand for goods and services in Accra are higher than any part of the country. Furthermore, the 12% tax contribution from Ashanti commensurate with the business activities in that region, as most of the corporate entities with branches in Ashanti and other regions pay their taxes in the national capital, Accra. We are by this press conference resolved that until the right structures are put in place for the VAT system to ensure proper compliance and also proper due diligences being done at the port for legitimate clearance of goods, we are not going to play victims and allowing ourselves as puppets to be played, but resist henceforth any further attempt of harassment from any quarter.
That's the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Dr. Joseph Obin, there. If we do get him on the line, we'll put him also across to speak to us on the details of the press conference and what their case exactly is. But they've put it up in several ways. And David Kojo Amoabin, the leader of the Traders Association or Traders Advocacy Group, had made certain emphatic statements to the concerns the traders are raising. And the basic points are that there are invigilators who are harassing them in their shops for them to pay their taxes. And there are people who are so-called task force members from the GRA who track their containers on the road, especially to the Ashanti region, and force them to pay upfront VAT. They think that this is an affront even on the GRA for not trusting their own systems at the port, which does the duties and so on and so forth before the goods are cleared. So if you have systems, resource persons, human resource people at the ports to clear their goods, why do you track them on the road? The GRA has put up a statement. I'll try as much as possible. It's a lengthy statement, 3 pages, even 4, but the 4th is the signage. I'll try as much as possible to read the very salient points to you, and if possible, we'll project the statement to you. That's the response of the Ghana Revenue Authority. I think, personally thinking, I've stated it clearly, that the GRA should have responded to the specific concerns, what they are going to do about the concerns raised by the GUTA and TAG, and what they intend, or how they intend to resolve it. Of course, even though their action is being, or is yielding results, and getting money for the country, it's just a case. Are they harassing the people? Are they going to stop the harassment and find ways of still recouping the monies that they intend to recoup for the country? So, under the letterhead of the Ghana Revenue Authority, which says integrity, fairness, and service, this comes to all news editors. It says for immediate release, customs monitoring task forces and allegations by GUTA and TAG. So I'll begin the entire statement. Now, the Ghana Revenue Authority has noticed with great concerns narratives in the media space from members of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, and Traders Advocacy Group, or Ghana, TAG, as follows. 1. Frequent arrests of goods by customs monitoring task forces, eventually leading to payment of heavy penalties by traders. So GRA actually acknowledges the concern raised by GUTA. 2, of course, and TAG, composition of several task forces by the GRA with a high tendency of alleged harassment and extortion. Now, management would like to use this opportunity to provide clarity on the issues and compliance visits to registered businesses, specifically those registered to charge and account for value-added tax, VAT, test purchases, and in some instances, closing of shops due to failure to pay taxes. These activities are also conducted simultaneously across the country to achieve the same impact. Now, this is GRA telling us the measures it employs to ensure tax compliance, to ensure increased revenue mobilization. And these are some of the taxes, but they haven't stated that they harass people anyway. Now, a total of 104,468,870.17 million Ghana cedis upfront payments of VAT were made from the 6th of June to the 31st of August 2023, with a corresponding increase in VAT registration standing at 4,064. GRA also embarked on a VAT invoice invigilation exercise, which led to a huge increase in VAT collection. For example, a company in the manufacturing sector, which records monthly sales of 3 million Ghana cedis, recorded almost 8 million Ghana cedis during the invigilation. I think GRA, you should have stated which specific company, because this is an actual investigation you have done with verifiable documents that you are putting in the space of the media. We need to know which company has been under declaring its profits of as much as 8 million, less 5 million to 3 million. So the company makes 8 million Ghana cedis. It comes back to tell the people of Ghana, and of course, through you, the GRA, that it makes 3 million Ghana cedis. So it says 5 million Ghana cedis without paying taxes on that. You find out what it is. We expect that you tell us which company it is. And then we want to know and be able to, of course, we don't doubt what you are saying to us anyway. But you have to be able to mention the name of the company in your statement for verifiability, for us to be able to authenticate and know that this company is evading tax here in Ghana. Now, it goes on to say that in the hospitality sector, a taxpayer reported 780,000 Ghana cedis as sales for the month, but the invigilation revealed an amount of 1.7 million Ghana cedis. So almost a million Ghana cedis has been saved somewhere by the hospitality sector player. Is it a hotel? Is it a restaurant? What is the hospitality company? Because we will now be thinking that every hospitality company in the country, we won't know which is which anyway, but we'll be thinking that every hospitality company in the country evades tax. Anyway, it is expected that when the electronic VAT invoicing system is fully rolled out, VAT infractions will be minimized. And why is that not out yet? When we get the opportunity to meet you, GRA, we'll be asking you this very question, that if there is a system which is electronic, and we have seen the paperless system. We saw the West Blue Consulting single window. We saw all of those systems. But this, you say, when it's fully rolled out, will minimize infractions. How is it going to add up to the electronic systems that we have in the country already? And then, if it is going to actually cause a change, why hasn't it been rolled out yet? So the Customs Division in particular has put in place 4 monitoring task forces to curtail smuggling, under declaration, misdescription, and concealment of goods, thereby ensuring that the right amount of duties and taxes are paid by importers. The monitoring task forces are as follows. It mentions those in Tema, Eastern, Dabala, Kumasi, and then the rest nationwide. So it goes on to tell us, well, when you go to interceptions of cars, you have mentioned the car numbers, and that's what we are talking about. It goes on to mention some figures about the work of the task force and how they've been able to intercept some cars, trucks anyway, with certain amounts of goods and certain amounts of cost, and mention some figures here and there. But we are expecting that the same way you have mentioned the car numbers, you should tell us the names of these companies that are evading taxes. When you have an issue with Metro TV, you come to us. So tell us, and you publicize. So tell us who it is.